Well, it is time to spill some tea because, of course, what happens in Hollywood doesn't always stay there, thank goodness. And Michael Babcock is joining us live. He is with TMZ. We've got a couple of stories that everyone's talking about. It's so good to see you.
Hey, Kimberly, it's great to see you.
And I'm going to go ahead and say it. I have not talked to you since the NBA championship, so I'm just going to go ahead and say it. Congratulations to your Knicks, Michael Babcock.
Thank you for saying that, Kim. I appreciate it. You guys, I truly, wholeheartedly believe this. The Spurs are going to win multiple championships over these next 10 years here. The talent that you guys have is scary. And I'm not just saying that, I promise.
Well, thank you, Michael. You're a very gracious winner. We appreciate that. But I do agree with you. Multiple championships are on the way. Okay. Absolutely. We have to talk about Tom Sandoval. Bless his heart. Yeah. I feel like he is just the worst at picking the right women for himself, right? So now he's got all kinds of problems with his most recent ex-girlfriend.
Yeah, I remember I went to like a UFC fight or some MMA fight years ago and met him and hung out with him for a little bit and seemed like the nicest guy, but he does have trauma seemingly anywhere or everywhere he goes. So he was with a woman named Victoria Lee. They were dating for some time, and they had an incident on June 3rd at her place. And basically, this is all captured on video, and you can see here on the surveillance video, they're having an argument. Victoria and Tom are, and Victoria's dad is right there, Kimberly. So this guy, Will, is the dad. He's watching. Tom suspects that Victoria is recording the conversation, and he tries to grab her phone from her. Now, as he's trying to grab the phone, dad intervenes and tries to get Tom off of his daughter. As that happens, Tom then pushes Will, dad, and he falls into a lit fire pit. So he's sort of, like, ow, I'm getting burned, and he's trying to roll off of this thing. He is then furious. Makes a beeline for Tom Sandoval, who Tom, I think at this point, didn't want nothing to do with this anymore. He makes a beeline for Tom, and there was, the way the story goes, a big fight inside. We don't actually see that on video, unfortunately, but there was some big fight inside. Ultimately, police are called. Victoria is actually arrested for domestic violence, and Tom then goes and gets a restraining order against Victoria and against the dad, and now they're both pointing fingers at each other, but
there it is.
Probably seems like a relationship that should be over.
You get to the point, Michael, where at some point Tom's got to look at himself and say, what's the common denominator in all of these situations with all of these women? And it's Tom. And I love Sandoval. Like, as a person, he seems like a really nice person.
Yeah, I know. I agree. But I think you're right. When he's involved every time, then maybe you start to say, okay, maybe it's me, then I'm the issue here. So we'll see what happens. He wasn't arrested for what that's worth. He's got the restraining order against them, but yeah, they're claiming that he was basically the instigator here.
Okay, interesting. We'll see how that turns out. I kind of feel bad for him. I feel like he was maybe ganged up on a little bit there. All right, let's talk about the most famous lovebirds around the world right now. Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce, they are reportedly adding one very intimate event to their wedding weekend.
That's exactly right. So on June 3rd, July 3rd, next Friday, they are going to be having this big celebration at Madison Square Garden, 1,000+ people, something like 1,100 to 1,200 people that have been invited. But we have always thought that very possible that they could be married by the time they have the big party. There's going to be some people there that they barely know, or, executives from companies they've worked with or coached, people like that aren't necessarily close friends and family. So we always knew that was a possibility that they could do something before, and it looks like they are. Now, is it possible this could be some sort of welcome event with 100 people or so, give or take, the day before, because that's what they're having at the Garden as well. A much smaller event. It doesn't necessarily mean that it's the wedding, but I think that there's a good chance ultimately that this actually is the wedding on July 2nd, Thursday, and then they get have the big party on July 3rd. They're closing down streets around Madison Square Garden, so there's going to be a lot of people at this thing, and I'm sure there will be no lacking of star power as well.
Wow, yeah, that's going to be a lot of famous people in one spot. I did want to ask you, did you hear the rumor that Taylor was actually calling all of her wedding guests and inviting them as opposed to sending out any type of, invite?
wedding invitations here. They don't want to leave a paper trail. That's how in control she is of everything. So a lot of phone calls to make though.
Yeah, I can't wait to see photos.
It should be fun.
I'm sure you guys will get the very first photos. So we will be waiting for those, Michael Babcock.
I'm sorry, Kim, I lost you for a second there. But yeah, hopefully they will release these photos, and I'm looking forward to seeing them too.
Michael Babcock, we love talking to you on Fridays. Have an amazing weekend. We'll see you soon. Thank you.
You too, Kimberly. Have a great weekend. I'll see you later. Bye.
Okay, bye-bye.